Today is a very important day in our pursuit for our freedom. A very important summit took place, just concluded, the summit on peace in Ukraine. This summit on peace in Ukraine has just ended, and we took our time to watch many speeches, comments, opinions from world leaders. We've also took our time to analyze these speeches from different world leaders, including the speech made by the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. My fellow Biafrans, I would like us to watch few of these clips as on this rock I will build the altar of God. On this speech, comment coming from different world leaders on the just concluded peace summit for Ukraine, I will make my speech today.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I'm pleased to hand over the floor to the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Thank you. Thank you, President Ahmed and President Zelensky, for hosting this summit. It is my honor to be here with all of the leaders today. I first met President Zelensky in February of 2022, just 5 days before Russia invaded Ukraine. An outrageous attempt to subjugate a free people and an attempt to wipe a sovereign state off the map. On that same day, I addressed the Munich Security Conference and made clear that the United States of America is a steadfast supporter of the principles that people have a right to choose their own form of government. Nations have a right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected. And national borders should not be changed by force.
As you all have listened to the Vice President of the United States of America, I would also want the media team to share the screen and play a video from another prominent leader among those who had very important speech at the just concluded summit.
International law and UN Charter must be the backbone for just peace in Ukraine. No matter our continent, history, religion, or skin color, we all share the same guiding compass, and this is the UN Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human dignity, and the right to self-defense. These principles are universal, and we must uphold them. International law must be protected always and everywhere, without any ambiguity, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility.
You have listened to what I say the most important speech in this summit. And on this note, I would also want the media team to play just a few minutes interview of Musa. Musa is the chief of the terrorist army staff of Nigeria.
But from the operational point of view, can you tell us what is the major issue? The military is now so much involved in internal policing. It does look like you're being taken away from your primary assignment and you are doing secondary and leaving the primary. What would you say is your major problem military-wise?
Thank you very much. I'm really very happy to be here, and it's good to be with this forum today. Well, I think as Nigerians, first and foremost, we need to take ownership of what's going on in the country. And when I say ownership, it is not the time for us to start trading blames on who to do it. We are dealing with asymmetric warfare, which is a new kind of warfare. It's different from the conventional term. And that's what we want to make very clear. Conventional warfare is between country to country. Now, asymmetric warfare, you are dealing with non-state actors, people you don't know, people that are your own. I give you some examples. Sometimes when we go on cordon and search operations, the same village you get in, they hide the weapons, touch them, they don't have anything, and you proceed. And they dig out these weapons and fire you from the rear. It is difficult because you don't even know who is your enemy. Everybody is an enemy. There's no front. Everywhere, and is a front as long as much as possible.
And then, of course, I want you to also play the last one. And all I want to hear is when that question was asked, are you worried?
Yes. Are you worried? Because an operation,
of course,
you have
definitely.
a special operation on the sit-at-home IPOP situation in the southeast.
Yes.
But some of the elements and the leaders of these groups are outside of the country.
Yes.
I want every Biafran, every person who is reasonable listening to this particular video today to pay attention. The question they asked was, are you worried? So, and if you listen very attentively, he responded, of course, I'm worried. Play it again.
Are you worried? Because an operation,
of course,
you have
definitely.
a special operation.
Yes.
Are you worried? Because an operation,
of course,
you have
definitely.
a special operation.
The question they asked was, are you worried? So, and if you listen very attentively, he responded, of course, I'm worried. Play it again, please, because, there was talk over, the video, and so Femi was talking and his voice did not come out. A lot of people did not pay attention. He admitted that, of course, I'm worried.
Are you worried? Because an operation,
of course,
you have
definitely.
a special operation.
My fellow Biafrans, those who have paid the biggest price for being one Nigeria until we come on board, I congratulate you. Those of you who did not give up when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya in 2021, I congratulate you. Those who stood their ground to fight and trusted some of us, I congratulate you. I want you to understand that we have defeated Nigeria, and Nigeria can never rise again. From the speech of the Vice President of the United States of America and the person that spoke on behalf of the American state, I have the following information to give to the Biafra people. I want you to understand that in Biafra, Africa died. And in Biafra, Africa will rise. This summit was directly and indirectly meant for Biafra people, as it reaffirms and justifies our right as a people and our actions towards the fight against Nigeria terrorist state aggression. Though it was called Ukraine Summit, but everything that was said was directly referring to your situation under Nigeria occupation, even though there is a connotation of Nigeria as a sovereign state, which was never discussed and negotiated with anyone, including the Biafra people. From the speeches and the clips you've just watched, the United Nations, the world leaders have indirectly validated Biafra Liberation Army in our quest to protect and preserve the life of the Biafra people. My fellow Biafrans, the world leaders made it very clear that self-preservation is a must. They use the word must. And it should be protected at all cost. At all cost. Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Today, Nigeria have tried everything to destroy and annihilate Biafra people, and we must protect and preserve ourselves at all costs. They were referring to Biafra, even though the summit was about Ukraine. My fellow Biafrans, the world leaders told us today, and they made it very clear in the summit, as they define the United Nations Charter in a very clear term through their submissions, confirming that Biafrans are acting within the legal framework of international law. My fellow Biafrans, I want the Nigeria terrorist state to listen to this. The world leaders has opened up that even they themselves have no right to violate or act outside the charter, which has been agreed by all nations who are party to it. But the same charter that they have agreed they will never violate, Nigeria has violated it with impunity. And Nigeria is a signatory to the same charter that they said can never be violated by killing those who they claim to be their citizens in Biafra land, kidnapping Biafrans and enforcing their disappearances for many years, unchallenged, is a violation of this Charter of the United Nations with impunity. And today, we are resisting them. My fellow Biafrans, I want you to understand that the world leaders at this summit also made it very clear. They made us to understand that currently, in the case of Biafra, even though they are sitting idle and watching, it in fact violates the section of the United Nations Charter, which has assigned a responsibility to them to act in accordance to protect or the protection of human rights, especially the right of Biafrans within Nigeria state. They are waiting for this war that you listen to the Chief of Army Staff claiming that they are at war. Do you not understand that they are at war in Nigeria? Do you not understand that Biafra and Nigeria is already at war? When Musa told you that they are going to retaliate, a lot of people are surprised. You will be asking yourself, retaliating with who? Against who? He has made it very clear that this is a war, a very difficult war, asymmetric war, which means they are at war with everybody in Biafra land because they don't know who the enemy is. You are waiting for these people to annihilate us before you support the liberation of Biafra? You may be a victim. This submission of Musa is a clear declaration of war, and he call it asymmetric war, which means if anything happens, everybody becomes a target. And that's why they are using the word retaliation. And that's why they will never go after those who attack them. They attack innocent people because they are now officially in asymmetric war. My fellow Biafrans, the United Nations and world leaders at this summit also reaffirmed that fight against Russia should be applied anywhere in the world where human rights has been violated. To this particular submission by the world leaders in this summit, we call on the United Nations, we call on the attention of the United Nations that Nigeria should not be exempted in this particular submission. Nigeria has violated all human rights laws. They have violated all international laws. All United Nations resolution on human rights has been violated by Nigeria. They have also violated with impunity the right to self-determination as enshrined in U.S. Constitution and United Nations Charter. My fellow Biafrans, the world leaders reminded us in the clips we watched. They reminded us, Biafrans, that we need to fund this self-defense against a dictator, tyranny, a terrorist state who have taken up the war against innocent women and children in Biafra land. They are telling you, you must fund your self-defense like never before. Nigeria has no rule of law. Their rule of law is gun and bullet. And we have come to resist it. A government that uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence in self-defense. That's why it is very important that every Biafran all over the world, anywhere you are, irrespective of whether you like Samonekpa or not, the defense and the liberation of Biafra, it is now or never. That is where we are different. And that's why we are the government of Biafra. It is our responsibility to take it up according to the submission of these world leaders in the Ukraine Peace Summit. Protect Biafra people. I want you to understand that Nigeria can never win this war. Call it asymmetric war, call it jungle welfare, call it whatever name you want to call it. We have seen Musa calling it a jungle welfare. We have also seen him saying they are in asymmetric war. And it is difficult one because you don't know who is the enemy. Everybody's the enemy. Sometimes they go to the place and people shoot them from the back. And that's why they are retaliating against the people. And Nigerians, those who call themselves Nigeria, do not understand that Nigeria is at war with Biafra. Musa has explained that we are at war, and he called it asymmetric war. What else do you want to know? The question was, they left primary responsibility and handling the secondary responsibility. Nigeria is at war, and the military are laying siege the place they believe the war is taking place. Where is that? Biafra land. You as a Biafra person, if you refuse to fund this liberation today, you or your family will be a victim. Because whether you believe in Samonekpa, whether you believe in the Biafra government or not, you are already an enemy. By the submission of Musa, your family are also the enemy. In the asymmetric war that they have declared against us, your family could be the one they will retaliate on, because we cannot put our hand. We've already taken up arms, like everybody knows. So asymmetric war, where they don't know who is the enemy, at the same time declare every Biafra enemy. You are already caught in the cobweb. The earlier you come to support this liberation, the better for you. And this is also to give the kudos to the Biafra Liberation Army for having defeated Nigeria with our little resources. I have followed all social media analysis on the video. But this particular, yes, I am worried. Nobody picked it up because Shehu was talking and, the voice was covering it. So everybody should go and listen to Musa admitting he is worried because we have defeated them. Today, the Biafra Liberation Army have neutralized dozens of these terrorists in our land, and we are proud of them. They will continue to go down. Our demand is very simple. Pull them out of Biafra land. Remove every checkpoint where the enforcements of Biafrans are taking place, disappearance of Biafrans are taking place every day. If you do not dismantle all the checkpoints, they will continue to die at that checkpoint, because we have died enough in the same checkpoint. We have disappeared enough in the same checkpoint, and we are now pushing back and fighting back, and nobody's going to stop us. I told them, if
oh my God,
here is not taken, I will turn to a beast and Biafra will come.